John Wayne's knees hit the floor before anyone realized he was going down. One moment he was standing in front of the saloon set, running lines with Ron Howard. The next moment he was on his hands and knees, gasping for air like a drowning man. John, Director
Don Siegel rushed over, but Wayne held up one hand. "I'm fine," Wayne managed to say, though his voice came out in a wheeze. "Just got dizzy for a second." He wasn't fine. His chest felt like someone had wrapped steel bands around it and was pulling them tighter with each breath. Pain radiated down his left arm. The studio lights overhead seemed to pulse and blur. Two crew members grabbed his arms to help him up, but Wayne shrugged them off. He placed one palm flat on the dusty floor and pushed himself to his feet. His legs shook, but he locked his knees and stood. "Let's go again," he said. Siegel stepped closer, studying Wayne's face. "John, you're gray. We should call a doctor." I said, "I'm fine. We're burning daylight." It was a lie, and everyone on set knew it. But this was John Wayne, the Duke. He didn't show weakness. He didn't take breaks. He certainly didn't collapse on set like some fragile old man, even though that's exactly what he was becoming. The assistant director called for 5 minutes. Wayne walked slowly to his chair, each step carefully measured. He lowered himself down and took the water bottle someone handed him. His hands trembled as he unscrewed the cap. Ron Howard approached carefully, like someone approaching a wounded animal. "Mr. Wayne, maybe we should—" "Kid, I've been making movies since before you were born," Wayne interrupted. "I know when I need a break and when I don't." Howard nodded and backed away. But Wayne saw the concern in the young actor's eyes, saw it in everyone's eyes as they pretended not to watch him. Wayne took a long drink of water and tried to slow his breathing. The pain in his chest was subsiding, but it hadn't gone away. It never really went away anymore. He'd been ignoring symptoms for weeks. The shortness of breath, the fatigue that hit him like a freight train in the middle of scenes, the way his chest would tighten when he had to climb stairs or mount a horse. The doctors had warned him. After the lung surgery years ago, after the cancer, they'd told him he needed to slow down, take care of himself. But Wayne had one more film in him. The Shootist. The story of an aging gunfighter dying of cancer. The irony wasn't lost on anyone, especially not on Wayne himself. Wayne sat in his trailer an hour later, staring at the bottle of pills on the small table. His doctor had prescribed them months ago. For the pain, he'd said, for when things got bad. Wayne hadn't taken a single one. There was a knock on the trailer door. "It's Don," Siegel's voice called. "Come in." The director climbed inside and closed the door behind him. He didn't sit down, just stood there with his arms crossed, looking at Wayne with that expression directors get when they're about to say something difficult. "Before you start," Wayne said, "I'm finishing this picture. I wasn't going to suggest otherwise." "Good." Siegel pulled out a chair and sat down anyway. "What I am going to suggest is that we adjust the schedule. Give you more time between scenes. Maybe cut some of the physical stuff." "No, John. The character is dying," Wayne said flatly. "He's supposed to look like hell. He's supposed to struggle. That's the whole damn point of the movie." "The character is dying of cancer in the script," Siegel said carefully. "You don't actually have to die making the film." Wayne laughed, but it turned into a cough. When he finally caught his breath, he said, "You know what this movie is about? It's about going out on your own terms, about finishing what you started even when your body's telling you to quit. You want me to play that half-assed? I want you to live through production." "I will." "You collapsed today. I got dizzy. There's a difference." Siegel leaned forward, his voice dropping. "I've been directing for 30 years. I know what a collapse looks like. I know what a hard episode looks like. Don't bullshit me." Wayne met his eyes. For a long moment, neither man spoke. "The doctor I saw last month," Wayne finally said, "he told me my heart's not what it used to be. The surgery, the treatments, they took a toll. He said I should retire. Stay home. Take it easy." Maybe he's right. He's not. "Why? Because you're John Wayne and you don't quit?" "Because this is my last film," Wayne said quietly. "I know that. You know that. Everyone on this set knows that. And I'll be damned if I'm going to phone it in. I'm going to give this everything I've got, even if it kills me." Siegel sat back. "That's what I'm afraid of." "Then be afraid. But don't ask me to stop." The director studied him for another moment, then stood. "We're putting a doctor on set. Full-time. Non-negotiable." Wayne nodded. It was a compromise he could live with. After Siegel left, Wayne reached for the pill bottle. He stared at it for a long time before setting it back down, unopened. Not yet. He'd get through today without them, and tomorrow. As long as he could stand and deliver his lines, he'd do this without crutches, even if it was killing him. Dr. Robert Egan arrived on set the next morning carrying a medical bag that looked like it belonged in a battlefield hospital. Wayne eyed it suspiciously from his position near the camera. What's he going to do? Perform surgery between takes? He's here to monitor you, Siegel said. That was the deal. Egan approached with the careful confidence of a man who'd dealt with difficult patients before. He was younger than Wayne expected, maybe early 40s, with steady hands and calm eyes. Mr. Wayne, I'm Dr. Egan. I'll be on set for the duration of filming. Great. Don't get in my way. I won't. But I need to do a quick examination before you work today. Wayne started to refuse, but Siegel gave him a look that said this wasn't negotiable. With a sigh, Wayne followed Egan to a quiet corner of the set. The doctor pulled out a stethoscope and blood pressure cuff. Tell me about yesterday. I got dizzy. It passed. Any chest pain? Some. Scale of 1 to 10? Wayne hesitated. 7. Maybe 8. Egan's expression didn't change, but his movements became more focused. He took Wayne's blood pressure, listened to his heart and lungs, checked his pulse. Your blood pressure is elevated, Egan said quietly. Your heart rate is irregular. Mr. Wayne, you need to be in a hospital, not on a film set. Not happening. You could have another episode. A worse one. You could die. Then I'll die doing what I love instead of rotting in a hospital bed. Egan packed his equipment slowly. You know what your character in this film dies of? Cancer. Same thing that tried to kill me, fear. Do you know how he handles it? He goes out fighting. No, Egan said. He accepts it. He makes peace with it. He uses his remaining time to settle his affairs and say goodbye. That's the whole point of the story. Wayne felt anger flash through him. Don't try to turn my own movie into a therapy session, Doc. I'm not. I'm just pointing out that even your character is smarter than you are right now. They stared at each other. Wayne wanted to throw the doctor off the set, wanted to prove he didn't need monitoring or help or lectures about accepting mortality. But he couldn't, because Egan was right, and they both knew it. Just keep me alive until we finish shooting, Wayne said finally. That's all I'm asking. That's all you're asking? Egan shook his head. Mr. Wayne, that might be more than medicine can deliver. 3 days later, they were filming the scene where Wayne's character, J.B. Books, meets with the doctor who's just told him he has cancer. Wayne sat in the examination room set, facing veteran actor James Stewart, who played the doctor. It was the first time the two old friends had worked together in years. How long? Wayne's character asked. Stewart's doctor character looked at him with sad, honest eyes. 2 months, maybe less if the pain gets bad. There's nothing we can do. Wayne delivered his next line, but something in his voice caught. A tremor he hadn't intended. Cut, Siegel called. Let's go again. That was good, John, but I know, Wayne interrupted. I'll get it. They reset. Tried again. But the tremor was still there. Wayne could feel it, the way fiction and reality were bleeding together. He was playing a man dying of cancer, and his own body was failing Hayne with each passing day. Stewart noticed. During the next reset, he leaned close to Wayne. You okay, Duke? Fine. You don't look fine. I look like a man dying of cancer. Which is what I'm supposed to look like. Stewart's expression softened with understanding, with pity. Wayne hated it. This must be hard, Stewart said quietly. Playing this role, given everything you've been through. It's just acting, Jimmy, is it? Wayne didn't answer. They filmed the scene again. This time, Wayne nailed it, delivering the lines with the perfect mixture of stoic acceptance and buried fear. When Siegel called cut, there was a long silence on set. That was it, the director finally said, moving on. But Wayne didn't move. He sat there in the doctor's examination room set, his hands gripping the chair's arms, trying to remember where the character ended and he began. Dr. Egan appeared at his elbow. Your heart rate is elevated. I just did an emotional scene. It's higher than it should be. You need to rest. We have 3 more scenes today. Then we'll take breaks between them. Come on. Wayne let the doctor guide him to his chair. Someone brought him water. Someone else brought a cold towel. Wayne accepted both without comment. Ron Howard approached carefully. Mr. Wayne, that scene, that was incredible. Wayne looked at the young actor. You know what made it work? What? I wasn't acting. Howard didn't seem to know how to respond to that. Wayne didn't elaborate. How could he explain that every word of that scene felt like his own diagnosis? That sitting in that doctor's office set felt like remembering all the real doctor's offices he'd sat in over the years. The cancer had been beaten. Supposedly, the surgery had worked. But Wayne knew better. He could feel it in his bones. Whatever time he had left was borrowed time. This film was his last stand, his final performance, and he was going to make it count, even if it killed him. Wayne made it through 2 more weeks of filming before he collapsed again. This time there was no warning. One moment he was walking across the boarding house set. The next moment, everything went black. He woke up on a couch in his trailer with Dr. Egan hovering over him and an oxygen mask on his face. "Don't take that off," Egan said when Wayne reached for it. "You need it." Wayne pushed the mask aside anyway. "What happened? You passed out? Your heart rate dropped dangerously low, then spiked. You were out for almost 3 minutes. 3 minutes." Wayne tried to process that. 3 minutes of his life just gone. "We're shutting down production for the day," Egan continued. "You need to go to the hospital." "No, this isn't a request, and this isn't a negotiation," Wayne shot back. "I'm not going to any hospital. We finish this film first." Egan's professional calm finally cracked. "Do you have a death wish? Is that what this is? Because I can't keep you alive if you won't let me treat you properly." Wayne sat up slowly, the trailer spinning slightly around him. "You want to know what this is? I'll tell you. This is the only thing I've got left. For 50 years, I've been John Wayne. The guy who doesn't quit, the guy who finishes what he starts. Take that away, and what am I? Just another sick old man waiting to die." "You're human," Egan said. "You're allowed to be vulnerable." "No, I'm not. Not publicly. Not on a film set with 100 people watching. They're not watching John Wayne the icon. They're watching a man they care about destroy himself." Wayne looked away. "How much longer? How much longer for what? The film? How many days of shooting left?" Egan checked his watch like he was checking how much time Wayne had left to live. "If we stay on schedule, about 3 weeks. I can do 3 weeks." "No, you can't. Not like this. Watch me." They stared at each other. Finally, Egan pulled out his medical bag and started preparing an injection. "What's that?" Wayne asked. "Something to stabilize your heart rhythm. And before you argue, understand this. I'm willing to help you finish this film, but only if you let me actually help you. That means medications. That means frequent frucrin. That means resting when I tell you to rest. Are we clear?" Wayne nodded slowly. Clear. The injection hurt going in, but within minutes Wayne felt his heartbeat steady. The fog in his head cleared slightly. "This isn't a cure," Egan warned. "This is just buying you time. Days. Maybe weeks. But your heart is failing, Mr. Wayne. After this film, you need serious medical medicine." "After this film," Wayne agreed. They both knew it was a lie. The last scene they filmed was the climactic gunfight. Wayne's character, knowing he's dying anyway, walks into a saloon to face 3 men who've been terrorizing the town. It was supposed to be Wayne's character's final act of defiance, going out on his own terms, taking control of his death instead of letting cancer slowly kill him. Wayne stood at the saloon entrance, real revolvers loaded with blanks in his hands. His chest ached. His legs felt weak, but he was ready. "Action," Siegel called. Wayne pushed through the swinging doors. The 3 actors playing the villains turned to face him. Dialogue was exchanged. Then the shooting started. Blanks fired. Squibs exploded. Actors fell. Wayne moved through the choreographed fight with the muscle memory of 50 years of Western film. But halfway through, something went wrong. Wayne's vision blurred. His next shot went wide of where it was supposed to hit. He stumbled, catching himself on a table. "Cut!" Siegel started to call, but Wayne held up a hand. "Keep rolling," he growled. The other actors didn't know what to do. The scene had fallen apart, but Wayne kept going. He steadied himself, raised his revolver, and finished the fight. When the last villain fell, Wayne stood alone in the empty saloon, breathing hard. Blood from a squib pack ran down his white shirt. Fake blood for a fake gunfight in a story about a real death. "Cut," Siegel said quietly. "That's a wrap on that scene." Wayne holstered the revolvers. His hands were shaking so badly it took 3 tries. Dr. Egan was there immediately, checking his pulse. "You need to lie down. I need to see the playback." They gathered around the monitor. Siegel ran the footage. Wayne watched himself stumble. Watch the moment where the character and the actor became indistinguishable. We'll need to reshoot, the script supervisor said. No, Wayne said. Everyone turned to look at him. That's the scene, Wayne continued. A dying man fighting his last fight. That's what it should look like. That's stumble. That's real. Keep it. Siegel studied the footage again. Slowly, he nodded. You're right, it's better this way. Wayne felt a strange sense of relief. For once, his weakness had improved the performance instead of ruining it. The final day of shooting arrived on a cold January morning. Wayne's last scene was a quiet one, his character sitting on a porch looking out at the town he'd protected one last time. No dialogue, no action, just an old gunfighter acknowledging the end. Wayne sat in the chair on the porch set. The crew had gone quiet. Everyone knew what this moment meant. Rolling, the assistant director called softly. Wayne looked out at the painted backdrop of the town. But in his mind, he was seeing something else. 50 years of films, hundreds of characters, thousands of days on sets just like this one. It was ending. All of it. Siegel let the camera run longer than necessary. 30 seconds. A minute. 2 minutes. Wayne just sat there. And somehow that was enough. Cut, Siegel finally said. That's a wrap on John Wayne. The set erupted in applause. Crew members were crying. Actors stepped forward to shake Wayne's hand. Wayne stood slowly. Dr. Egan was right there, but Wayne waved him off. He wanted to stand on his own for this. Thank you, he said to the assembled crew, for everything, for making this old man's last ride something special. He shook hands with Siegel, with Ron Howard, with James Stewart. Each handshake felt like goodbye. Finally, Wayne walked off the set alone. Dr. Egan followed at a respectful distance. In his trailer, Wayne sat down heavily. The adrenaline that had carried him through filming was draining away, leaving only exhaustion. You did it, Egan said quietly. You finished. Wayne nodded. He had finished. But he'd learned something in the process. His character in the film had accepted his death and used his remaining time to find peace. Wayne had fought against acceptance, had pushed his body to the breaking point to prove he was still strong. Neither approach was wrong. Neither was completely right. Doc, Wayne said, when we wrap here, I'll go to the hospital. I'll do the tests. I'll listen to what they say. Egan looked surprised. What changed your mind? I finished what I started. That was the important part. Now I can figure out what comes next. It wasn't acceptance. It wasn't surrender. It was something else. An acknowledgement that fighting and enduring were different things. Wayne had spent his life playing men who fought until the bitter end. But maybe the real courage wasn't in fighting death. Maybe it was in looking at it honestly and deciding what to do with the time you had left. The film had taught him that. Or maybe he'd taught himself through making it. Either way, as Wayne sat in that trailer on his last day of filming, he understood something he hadn't before. The lesson wasn't about strength or weakness. It wasn't about quitting or persevering. It was about knowing when the story you're telling is more important than how much longer you can stand. Wayne had told his last story. He'd given it everything he had. And now, finally, he could rest. The Duke had taken his final bow.